Alright, people. I'm going to be on my journey pretty soon. First, I got to go for a nice long walk because I got to kill some calories real quick. But other than that, I got to go pick up things that I need to finish off my screen here so I can get this thing up and going. I got to order some LED lights and everything. So, what you're seeing there in the thumbnail is what I'm used to seeing every day on YouTube. I literally see that image all the time on YouTube. And that is somebody's projection screen completely washed out. This is what some people consider to be an acceptable image. And this is sad. This is really sad. That's not an acceptable image. That's an extremely poor image. And then the only way that image can be fixed is that they have to be trapped in these super dark environments in order to get the screen to work. That's absolutely unacceptable. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. We specialize in black technology and ambient light projection technology. We literally have tons of demonstrations doing things in ambient light projection technology that no other screen's doing other than that. Also too, like that screen we have called SFEG, which stands for Sun Fusion Energy Gain. A technology allows screens to operate outside at 9 o'clock in the morning or pretty much any time of the day without requiring expensive projectors, calibrating dark environments, and all the other nonsense that comes with nonsense. Our technology we have here is what screen we're working on right now is our Ultimate Apex Gamer Complete. And this technology, basically, if you saw the promo demonstrations we just popped up, we popped them up here. We popped them up at 16 different forum sites. They're on basically my members only site, all that on there, so people can see exactly the difference why our products are far more superior than everybody else's. Now, we have people out there that do chatter. Chatter they do. And in their chattering, we don't see, wow, is this foot really that long? He has a long freaking foot. Yeah, it's weird. That's my camera. I don't got my camera on the deck, damn it. All the time, this foot looks extra weird. Anyway, I'm sorry, my cat's occupying me right now. This foot looks just super long. Why is his feet so long? Cat got some long feet, I swear. Anyway, I think he's part jackrabbit at one point. But anyway, how are your feet that long, man? Sorry, man. I love my cat. My cat is pretty silly. He's my buddy at the end of the day. It's just some weird stuff. But anyway, so no, what I've seen in projection screens today, I've seen a lot of high-end projectors. I just haven't seen any screens to catch up to the high-end projectors. And that's usually what customers are going through. That when they go out and they buy a projector and they see the family or whoever's on the side of the box, they really believe that that's what they're really going to get. And they're not going to get that. What you see in the thumbnail is literally what a lot of people see. I'm on a ton of forum sites. I see this happen all the time. People turn the lights on and the screen doosh disappears. It's gone. It's not even there anymore. So they're stuck in the dark. That's why you see a lot of people sitting in the dark with high-end, expensive, ultra-short throw projectors because their screens will not fire off in that environment. Our technology, as we do in our demonstrations, we can watch movies off a ceiling if we want to because we have that capability. You can run off a ceiling or outside at 3 and 4 o'clock. Or not for 3. I'm going to do 9 o'clock in the morning now. I don't do forget 3 o'clock anymore. This is where you should be able to operate. Now, my environment's commercial. My area hits up somewhere between 24,000 lumens in my ceiling because I have a lot of light in my ceiling. And it makes contact with my screen constantly all the time, as you can see. Our projector's running eco mode. We're using a $50 Chrissy LW400. So we don't have to spend a lot of money for a high-end expensive projector just to get everything to work. That's not even necessary. And soon I'm going to have this screen set up so we can do some demonstrations off of it so we can show it off. That took some for a minute. Ugh. Let me see. Really? Oh, on the same day. Jeez, you run? Yeah, we run the same 20%. So right. We gotta get ready to get the screen set up. I'm working on it maybe pretty soon. No, we're not trying to come out of YouTube. We need to go back to home. Thank you. Doing too much. I think I had an argument this morning with AI over some nonsense about how I wanted to change something out and it wouldn't allow me to do it because it felt it wasn't in my best interest to change out what I wanted to do in my software. That's interesting. Having an argument with the computer machine. Alright, cool. Getting ready to get my setup done real quick. Clean my lens off. There we go. So, bottom line is, you should be operating this environment with no problem. Especially with the projectors. Some of you guys got in there are far more advanced than what I have over here. Your projectors are way better than ours. So, the fact that you have these high-end machines, you pay thousands and thousands of dollars for, and you can't generate in a fully lit environment, that's a huge major red flag that something is definitely wrong. So that thumbnail you see right there, I see that thumbnail every single time I go on the forum site. Every single time. The first thing I request is, hey, do me a favor, turn your lights on. Mind you, we're in abnormal lighting in here. These ceiling lights are 24,000, so that's nothing. Downstairs, cakewalk all day long. I can walk through this whole building and cakewalk all day long because we're in abnormal lighting. But what I see in normal lighting, the same lighting we had downstairs in the conference room, which is normal lighting, those screens wash out. And your projector, like I said, far more advanced than ours. So it shows you at the end of the day that you're not getting what you paid for. Now, we're having this discussion with customers. There's no point in having these discussions with naysayers anymore due to the fact of what's going to happen today. That's why we don't care. We're not having this conversation with you anymore. We're not going to address this. Other people will be addressing your issues with you soon. But we're not getting involved in it anymore. We're done. We're going to go down and got to take care of some business. I got to take some files down with me. We don't discuss it with you anymore. Another party's going to be taking over this from now on. You're under investigation now. So with that being said, don't blame me for what's about to happen in the next couple months, okay? All right. I just say I can have one point of a bit of advice for you. Get lawyers quick. I would advise you get attorneys as fast as you can. That's the best I can do for you. All right, let's move on. All right, so as for the customers, now, like I said, that thumbnail, usually what some people tell you in these forum sites when you go to, that at the end of the day that you have to do calibrating, you have to spend money for expensive projectors, which some of you already have, and you're frustrated about that. You're going to have to darken your environments, which means if you can't operate, and you definitely can't operate in here, you can't operate in normal lighting. That's normal lighting with striking that screen. It's having all types of issues. Now, some people consider because you can still see the image, even though the image looks absolutely horrible, it's considered to be a win. In our world, no, that's not a win. That's a washed out screen for us. But remind you, look at the environment that people live in. They have these screens now that they figure it's the normal to have a washed out image. It's the normal to be in the dark. It's the normal to calibrate. It's the normal to spend money for expensive, high-end projectors to try to fix the problem that's not working at all. That's just all the normal. They accept it. They accept their fate and just move on with it. And that's the sad part about it. This is where you get ripped off. So they know this. They know you're going to accept the fate. They know that out from the door. That's why a lot of these companies out here have the same traditional nonsense. Calibration, dark environment, spend more money for projector. For you to be stuck in a dark environment. The gunmetal screen we just showed off, that's a parallax. That's basically made by daylight screen. That's a $5,000 to $7,000 projection screen. They're not cheap. Now, compare that to everyday screen paint. That thing will kick the crap out of everyday screen paint. When it comes to our technology, it won't pass our technology. We can beat that screen easily. And I go to forum sites with people who actually own that actual screen and have these conversations, which I can do.
And my environments are far more well lit than theirs. They spent a lot of money. And some guys said to me, I wish I would have found you sooner before I spent this money. Mind you, that's a $7,000 screen that can't read 100% contrast. So that's pretty pricey when you think about it. And you consider the fact that anything you spend on a projector is going to tip that scale over that $7,000 mark. Now, if their company at the end of the day feels they want to contact Mr. Bird and say, we produce a black level higher, we already know where that one's going. That ain't going anywhere. Gunmetals can't produce 100% black levels. That's virtually impossible. They don't have the capability. But gunmetal, which is a dark gray. When you look up gunmetal color, it's a dark gray. It's not black. You can't read it. If you can't read that, guess what falls? Color levels, all that stuff starts to drop dramatically and all that stuff like that. It's okay. We go from there. So yeah, I mean, we cater to people who have deep pockets that may want to spend the money. They got the money. They got $15,000 laying around. They got 20 grand laying around. They can blow on a screen easily. The thing about it is, if you're going to be catering to this particular type of clientele, you're going to have to be able to prove to them that your product is better than the screen they're about to spend $7,000 on. And some of you who have screen paints right now, you can't even pull up in an environment like this. You don't even exist here. So how would you convince somebody who has deep pockets to not spend 7 grand for a screen that they can pay for with no problem? How do you convince them to buy your product? You can't. You can't operate in commercial. You don't even operate in the home front at that. So yeah, you need that dark environment. Now that screen in the thumbnail would produce a little better if it was in a much darker environment. And probably the resolution would improve if the owner were to go out and spend more money like a 4K projector. That would fix some of the problems. And then they will still have to calibrate because the colors are going to be thrown off because it doesn't read black correctly. And you do know black is a requirement for color. Some people think it's all white. If it's all white, then you got a problem here. It means you have washed out faded colors. What about the dark levels? And there's dark levels colors too. They completely miss that whole part. Oh, it's just light colors. And just black. No, there isn't. There's dark colors in there. You got dark brown, dark green, dark orange, all those colors in there. What happens to those colors? That's why when you show a scenery of a forest, you'll notice that all the trees are the same color. Did you pick that up? Yeah, most people in the field have been there for a long time, pick it up just like that. You ever look at the ocean? The ocean's all the same color. The ocean has different blends of colors. But you can't see that. Just saying, oh, it's picking up this beautiful image. No. It's showing multiple shades. Even in white levels in snow, there's multiple shades of white levels. That's what the OLED was displaying with the horse, which some people try to do the demonstration, and whoop, went right over top of their head. They didn't understand what the demonstration was, so you don't understand black technology. What makes OLED demonstration so interesting is the fact it's not the image, it's the 100% black background behind it. That's what makes an OLED impressive. They can't see that, so therefore they can't recognize or acknowledge that. They'll keep your attention on the object moving in the front, not realizing that black is what the main point is what OLED is all about. It can produce an ultra infinity black level and still maintain shades of black levels at different levels all at the same time without skipping a beat. You didn't mention that. I noticed that when I watch people talk about OLED demonstrations and they have gray screens, you never mention that. You know why? You can't see it. You can't mention something you can't see. You missed that part. I heard multiple times. They just show a gray horse up there with a gray background. I see the gray horse, I see the gray background, and because they don't know what black technology looks like, how do you recognize contrast when you see it? So if you develop gray screens, how would you know black levels if you've never been on a black screen? That's like somebody saying that, hey, look, I got a CRT O2, it's all gray at the time. How would you know if you're really seeing contrast if you never were actually on an actual black screen? That's like saying you know what ice cream tastes like and you never had an ice cream cone. How would you know what it tastes like if you never had one? See, you gotta be careful. These are questions to be brought up in court. If you're faking contrast levels, you're gonna get stuck in there. They're gonna stick. You're gonna get stuck. There's so many different questions, so many combinations of questions. You get stuck in there. You better know what you're talking about. Can't go in those environments and lie. Oh, no. You can't go there and lie. They'll bring an expert in. They'll literally bring an expert in to answer and explain to you, what does this mean? You you guys got to get together. You're going to be going to court soon. All right, let's move on. So, as you can see, we got this beautiful image. Again, some of these screens have halo systems attached to them. If you've ever seen our halo system demonstrations, this is where you see these lights firing off inside the screen, not behind the screen, mind you, inside the screen. So these lights firing off inside the screen. This screen is absorbing anywhere between 6,000 to 12K of freaking halo lights, including the stress lights they have over top. Because these are stress lights. These things cause a lot of stress. So, when I'm watching a demonstration with someone typecasting ultra short throw projectors, that's a major red flag. If the majority of those videos done on that product or ultra short throw, you're in a lot of trouble. Which happened to a customer. Was watching a soccer game. He had a long throw, Optima projector, same model, very high-end projector. The distance throw chewed his projector up. He opened up 2 windows and the screen was gone. Just like that. That should have never happened. But if you constantly do demonstrations on ultra short throws, how would you know what would happen if you do a distance throw with all the lights on, which you should have done? Very important. Because you know what the customer's going to do? The customer's going to turn lights on. Oh, heck yes they are. And he will take your screens outside. My customers do it to me all the time. They take my screens right outside. I don't complain about it. They're designed to go outside. We designed them for it. So, see that image? Imagine you spend the money, $3,000 for a projector. $3,000 you took out of your pocket, save up, did all the reviews, went through all the freaking forum sites, you finally picked out the projector you want, you set it up, you know, you think you're going to have your windows open, it's going to operate just like your TV because it's designed to, you know, work like a TV, especially the ultra short throws, and you're all happy and giddy, you can't wait to set this up and you get that. That image right there. What are you going to do next? I mean, you read up on your projector, you go to the manual, you're afraid to change some things in advanced settings because, you know, you don't want to mess it up, but, you know, you just fiddle around in there trying to fix it, and it ain't working. But then you notice when you turn your lights out, picture quality improves. So now you're kind of bummed out because you wanted a projection screen, like 120 inch on your wall, to react just like a TV, and you're not getting that because now you have to be stuck in the dark with this thing. Somebody lied to you. Not your mistake. Somebody lied to you. Someone told you something that's not true. Now, we get some people to get on the fence about this and they get kind of upset about it. Well, the reason why you're upset is because you did it. That's why. The certified screens, well, technically, if they say they read black, they're lying because they don't read black. So, but do they pick up what they do? They do operate in fully lit environments. I tested their stuff before. Their stuff does exactly what it does. It operates in fully lit environments. It picks a perfect a beautiful color. Next to us, they don't survive. But by standalone, they're taking out a gray screen. You guys would stand a chance to get one of those screens. Not in a hot second. I watched the Black Diamond in a garage. And in that garage, we had roughly in the ceiling, we had 2 rods in there. We're 6,000 in the garage. And it murdered Jamie's paint. It murdered it. Black Diamond ate right through that thing. And a Black Diamond is a 1.4. Mind you, 1.4 gain. It's a Black Diamond. Where his paint was supposed to be a 2.0. That's why I said your paint's not a 2.0. You don't know what it is. You just call it 2.0 because you want to think it was a 2.0 gain, but it's not. Interesting, for a product that's called a 2.0 gain, it's supposed to be higher than the Black Diamond. For some reason, it's always in the dark. Why is that screen paint always in the dark? Why are all of them in the dark? Because they don't work. That's why. And that's the only one I think that he claims has a gain on it. I don't know. But anyway, getting back to this. So I've tested the Diamond. I think I had that demonstration. I'll pull it up. 1.4 took his screen out. It produced a better contrast. Of course, it's a gunmetal technology. It produced better color. Of course, it's gunmetal technology. It absorbed 10 times more light. Of course, gunmetal technology. That's why the screens cost $5,000. They do what they're designed to do. I tested a lot of them. More than what these people out here claim to have. You haven't tested that many screens. They don't even acknowledge your existence. They acknowledge our existence. But anyway, yeah, those screens do exactly what they're designed to do, but they're extremely expensive. They are very expensive. Our technology can easily take those screens. I've done dozens and dozens of tests on all of the screens, even from ultra short, though we've done everything. That's why I can sit here at my feet on top of my desk, crossed over, watching a fireplace at 24,000 on a projector that's running at 2,500 lumens because it's in eco mode. And it cost me $50. So I just came from a forum site showing up. We got a couple of high-grade certifieds coming through. We're doing some demonstrations on those. We got our match and better demonstration. It's going to be starting. I'm actually going to do 2 match and betters today. And I got the flex. I put a flex demonstration up. So match and betters are going to be very interesting. We're going to be going through Halo systems. So Halo systems, if you don't know, it's not a 500-watt ring light on your cell phone with the lights out. No, it's not that. It's 24,000 and a Halo system. That's what you have to run off. Oh, by the way, a projector must be under $50. Good luck. Oh, no ultra short throws, long throws only. Distance probably roughly, I'll give you 10 feet. You should do it at 10 feet with no problem. And you have to pick up everything, all colors, everything, comparison, the whole 9 yards. Next will be black versus black demonstration. Yours is gray versus gray. Mind you, we have the largest test right now of everybody. Check anybody. We challenge, it's a challenge on that black versus black page that we challenge our customers to go out and find any company that's testing their products on our level. Which means if you are taking the court on this, mind you, any company, if you're taking the court and someone accuses your product of matching everyday house paint, if you lose one of these lawsuits, you're going to have to pull everything off your shelf. If you can't sell something under a false advertisement, they can literally close your business down for that. This is why you should have done those tests at the beginning before you actually sold it. And some of you, I have tested yourself off camera, and yeah, it's not good. Some of you have to pull a lot of stuff off your site. Yep, you're matched. You're definitely matched. I gotta get my walking to today too. I'm gonna burn some calories. But anyway, yeah. So this is why Mr. Bird can have this conversation and do this. And this is why all my projectors, which since I started doing demonstrations here, cost me under $200. Unlike everybody else, 3, 4, 5,000, whatever, and y'all still can't do this. So for the customer, unless you want to deal with that nonsense on the front of the page, I have my thumbnail right now. A lot of you right now, that's your fate. That's your screen right now. You see my customers? My customers' demonstrations are so impressive that my customers' demonstrations beat those who sell screen paint. How many of y'all outside of my customers right now? None of y'all. I know, I checked. Try to find someone to compare to, or nobody's on there. No, all right, well, I can see that there's going to be a lot of people have their feathers ruffled over the screen. I got a kicker for you. If you feel at the end of the day that you can take this technology on, and you can't, I'll take you out with this, and then that black technology, when we have over there, when it changes the colors of screens when they lay against it, that thing is going to be at 100% next week, which means we start testing that thing outside. And if you ever want to challenge us, I'll take you out at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'll watch your screen disappear. You don't want to play with that thing at the end of the day. That's a whole different category of technology. I mean, literally, you see what they did to a gray screen? They turned a gray screen yellow. Any gray screen that lays against that thing does not function right. I have no idea what we're going to call it thing yet. They had a couple of names that we have no idea what to call it. But yeah, they'll be at 100% next week. These are not available until 2026. They got to go through snow testing, which means I want to be able to put these things out in the snow. I want to do demonstrations that no one else can do. That's why we went outside, we do all these crazy demonstrations, because I want to beat everybody else. I want to do stuff that no one else can do. You have most people sitting in a dark environment right now, and they got, I love the curtains. When they have the curtain pulled all the way over, and it's supposed to be flat against the wall. That's the way it's supposed to be, flat against the wall, or the panel, or against the window, so it's flat. But they pull the curtain up just a little bit, and then the light that's coming in doesn't really make contact with the screen. It bypasses it. The light that should be hitting the screen is where you take those curtains and you push them on the other side. That's what's supposed to strike the screen. So I see these light dodging demonstrations. I saw that, and a fellow was doing a demonstration. I'm sorry to bring it in the video, but I gotta say what it is. Personal mix. He basically had these red curtains, and the curtains he had were pulled all the way up just enough so if the light came in, it wouldn't make contact with the screen. But even the light that did make contact with the screen was so poorly faded and washed out. It wasn't there. It wasn't there at all, period. So with that being said, you can't do that. That curtain has to be all the way to the far end, so all that light makes contact with the screen. Heck, you can do that in the customers and take it outside. So we know from the door, if you can't survive with a screen with the window open from that much, a curtain, you know you can't survive outside. Or in here, you won't be able to make it. So that means that this is commercial. Environments we have in here are all commercial. So again, if they're telling you their product works in commercial, that's a lie. I've seen people in commercial environments, and the environments were dark. Anytime you're in a commercial environment, the environment should never ever be dark, ever. That area has to be at maximum lighting in that environment in order for you to show off your product. But what I've seen in 2 demonstrations, I've seen one in a church, dark environment, so dark you couldn't see the fire exits. Another one, what was the other one? Oh, and it was some kind of like classroom or something. And they had to turn out the lights closer to the screen because the screen was washing out. If you ever see a demonstration and they're doing it in any form of commercial environment and any of those lights are turned out or the lights are dimmed or any kind of stuff like that, yeah, it's a total fail. Like IWA projector, I literally watched the demonstration. The booth that they had the projector and screen in, the booth was so dark you couldn't even see. I can literally lean to the side and I could see the hallway was better lit than the booth. Those booths were basically light controlled. They're light controlled in there. And then I noticed that the 100-inch and 120-inch, they were completely washed out. But they were complaining that the lights at 21 feet in the air in a warehouse were affecting the screen. Now keep in mind, if you're 21 feet in the air, or even 18, or even 20, say you're up in the air, right, and you're affected by those lights, you know the average home ceiling is? It's roughly sometimes between 9 or 8.5. So 8.5 and 9 feet tall are going to definitely take your screen out with no problem. And 18, 20, and 24 affects your screen. Did you realize that when you said it? And that's the reason why they don't like me in the booth with them. I mean, the booth with them, I'd have brought that up. So we got these lights way up there. Those lights right there, those are affecting this screen? Yeah, you would have had a problem in the booth for that. I made that comment. Another issue I see is when I saw the IWA demonstration with that projector, I saw that the 150-inch was in a booth. The rest of the screens weren't. Why was the 150-inch in a booth where it had walls protecting it, had ceilings protecting it? Why was it in that booth? Because a 150-inch screen is a pretty big screen. It's about 7 feet tall. And if they had the screen mounted up on the wall, it's going to be closer to the lights than the rest of them. That's why that one was sitting in a booth. That's why you don't want me in a form site with you. That's why you don't want me in an expo with you, because I can call out your environment. You're not supposed to be in there. That area, that screen's supposed to be in a, you're in an ultra short throw. And that's what made it even more disturbing, that you're on a projector that's sitting right on top of a screen, and you literally had to put that thing in a booth. Good luck with that thing running in your apartment or your home. Mind you, it's 7 feet tall. 150-inch screens are roughly about 7 feet tall. And your ceilings are going to be roughly between 8.5 or maybe 9 feet. Mostly 8.5. So you're going to make contact. That light's going to make contact with that screen and take it out. Once you're shut, that won't help it. That's why when you watch those demonstrations, always dark environments. You can't put the lights on in that environment with that projector. It won't work. Even if it's off your shirt, it won't work. So, that's the reality. See that thumbnail? That's the reality. Some people right now, get a little test for you, turn on all your lights, open up all those windows in there, make it nice and bright in there, and try to watch some contrast in the tube happens. Try to watch anything in the tube happens. I bet you end up with that same image. Especially those who got the P2. I've been asking for that for the longest time. I've been asking anyone with a P2 projector, show me that projector in a full lit environment. Show me what 2 million to 1 looks like on that machine. Oh wait, one guy did it. One guy did actually do it. One guy, and it didn't go well. The screen washed out. Now mind you, in the demonstration, and I hate to bring this up again, with a YouTuber named Crow1176, Fernando, he had that PSA projector. And when he did the demonstration with the Network Grade 773, and the LG logo popped up, the screen disappeared, went AWOL. So, that tells you right there on the door that they don't work on P2s. They don't work at all. Because, like I said, that projector has a 2 million to 1 contrast sitting on it, and it couldn't even read in that environment next to that gray paint. Both screens washed out. Both screens. When the LG logo popped up, that logo is black. We all know that. So on a P2 projector with a 2 million to 1, how come it didn't read it? How come it didn't come up black? Because it can't. The screen's gray. It won't read it. P2 projectors are absolutely useless on gray screens. So it's the Epson LS800, so the rest of them. So if anyone else here wants to entertain my theory here by saying the projectors work on gray screens and you're able to read 100% black, that's what you're saying, let's go to court for it. I'm not doing no YouTube nonsense. Let's go to court. Let's put the money up. Let's go to court. You can't do it, can you? No, you can't. Because you lie. That's why the customers get ripped off all the time. Because you guys come in there in these dark environments and take that projector and go, and I'm not talking one person, a lot of y'all do it, and take that projector and stick it in this super dark environment. Go, look at the contrast we're picking up. No. If you got contrast, you should be reading the fully lit environment. So take that screen and projector, when we go in that courtroom, they're not turning out lights in there. Brighten up that environment, show me what that machine does. If you can't show me that machine operating, come on, why do you got to be in the dark? If you're a foot away from a screen at 3,000 lumens, what the frick are you doing in the dark? So that tells you right there, major red flag. That projectors, P2s don't work on gray screens. Now, I give people the option to walk us into a courtroom, right? We get the P2 projector, we prove that theory, a lot of people are going to court. And this is not going to be no 1 million, this is going to be up there, we're going to charge them. It's going to go up. It's going to go up by a lot. Because you're going to own the projector, do the demonstration, buy your product, put it against that projector, put it in that whole network room I told you, we're going to design it so everybody can watch it all around the world, and we'll see if your stuff operates on these projectors you claim they do. They don't. They don't run on those projectors. That's a fake demonstration you're doing. Lying, this lawsuit would be about 10 million up. Companies, anyone's doing one of those videos on any one of those projectors because you're lying. Even you influencers are lying, and I'll tell you why. Every single time I see you with one of those high-end projectors, you're in the same dark environment. One guy was in a room so dark, I only really see the image reflected off the chassis of the projector. Look at the contrast. Why are you in the dark with a projector sitting that close to a screen? Doesn't make any sense. So, we get your projector, we do that demonstration, we'll stick you in a fully lit environment with the projector, whatever paint, whatever you're using, we'll mimic your exact demonstration. And then we'll put it next to our technology, and I get you that thing will fire up. We'll turn the contrast off, we don't need it. And I guarantee our machine will fire it up, our screen print will fire it up in that fully lit environment, no problem. Heck, I'll take it outside. I did it already, did it with an Opta GT5500. I beat every promo demonstration under the Optimal with that demonstration. Any P2, beat your demonstration. Did you go outside and do what we did? We did 140 inches, by the way. Those projectors don't do 140, they do 100 inches. So we maxed out and did it 140 inches outside. To show people at the end of the day, you're not getting what you paid for. Now, some people take this personally. It's not about you. The world doesn't revolve about you. I say influencers. People that I see on here, they got these mega channels, and you go in and you do these demonstrations, someone will buy that projector because you have that influence. And they'll get home and they'll find out they can't fire it up. And guess who they contact? Me. Because they'll see me out here with a $60 projector fired at 150 inches in a fully lit environment. Which those of you with $3,000 projectors can't do. Can you match any projectors under my NEC? I'm going to put a matching better on my NEC projector. Matter of fact, we do the one outside. I bet you no one matches it by the end of the week. Because your gray screens can't read it, that's why. So if your gray screens can't read it, that means that projector doesn't work on your screen. It is what it is. So, the only people who get upset and bothered by when we talk like this are people who sell products. I don't think the customer would be upset by this. The customer would be relieved that they don't have to spend $3,000 for a projector that's not going to work on the screen that was probably told that it would work. I don't think I would ever have a problem with somebody telling me, hey, this doesn't work in the day. You got any proof on it? Here we go. Okay, that's enough for me right there. I'll save $3,000. So with that being said, yeah. Come in at the end of this year, we'll be buying a lot of these projectors, of your high-end projectors. We'll buy this projector and stick your projector in a fully lit commercial environment and see if it fires up. Now, is anything wrong with the projector? No, P2s work perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. The problem with the P2 is the P2 has is that the screen that the P2 is being displayed on doesn't work. Just like these older projectors we use in here, these projectors work perfectly fine. These older machines can beat all demonstrations we've seen on YouTube so far. I don't want to spend money for expensive projectors. My budget's under $200. So how in the world I can get a machine to fire up in a fully lit environment when we can't get a screen at 3,000 to look like this compared to the one we just saw in the thumbnail? Something's not right there. And meanwhile, while these people are talking this nonsense back and forth, customers are getting ripped off. So I don't have time for YouTube games back and forth. The This is what I do. Short, sweet. See you in court. That's it. Back it up. Get a lawyer on and carry on. The difference is make sure that when you bring in your projector setup, that thing reads 100% contrast in a fully lit environment. Because it should. You should never be in the dark at 3,000 lumens. No. Heck no. Some of y'all higher than that, you're in the dark. Ultra short throws. 5,000 lumens in the dark. How are you 5,000 lumens in the dark and a foot away from the screen? And you still can't read contrast and color? That's not the projector's fault. That's your screen's fault that you got to knock off. Like I said, these older models we have here, they don't have anything close to what you guys are running right now. Nowhere close. And they can pick up better than you guys can. Which shows at the end of the day that when this projector was sitting in its heyday at $3,000 for this projector, that projector right there was being displayed on a white screen. And the sad thing about when they displayed this projector right here on the white screen, the people who designed it really thought they were seeing the best of what this projector can do. They didn't realize how amazing these machines are. That's why I like using the older projectors. Because if I go back and look at the promo demonstrations, they're on white screens, like the QME2, sitting on a white screen, dark environment. That's where the QME2s are at, in dark environments. We're the only ones that have demonstrations on YouTube with that projector outside. The only one. In fully lit environments, conference rooms, we're the only ones who have those demonstrations. No one has them. So that tells you that the QME2 was a lot more powerful than what they thought it was. But they never got a chance to see the true potential of the projector because they had it on a white and gray screen. Most likely white. Most likely white screen. So they never saw the projector's true potential. And they got rid of it and they made a new one. And they get rid of it and they make another one. They get rid of it and make another one. They get rid of it and make another one. And Mr. Bird just comes along and just picks up all the old models, the old 720p models. That's basically what they can get to spend the money for. Does it make a difference they don't have HDMI imports? That don't make a difference to us. That stuff still works. Now, anyone who campaigned and said that the P2 or Epson LS800 projector or anything, Samsung, I don't care what company it is, and you did a video claiming that that projector picked up contrast and whatever on the screen, the display you did, you lied because you're in a dark environment. What are you doing in a dark environment with a projector that powerful? Especially if it's distance service. You should easily be able to read in that environment with no problem whatsoever. Widescreen doesn't even register next to my screen. It doesn't exist next to our screen. It's splatter screens we do. Anybody do splatter screens besides us? We're the only ones who do splatters, right? Yep, we are the only ones who do splatter demonstration. So, what's important about a splatter demonstration? It shows you the massive difference between your screen and... Oh, she didn't want to step there. You got to step there. We have a demonstration to do. I got to leave out here. Okay. Now, for the customer, these tests and demonstrations are very, very important. Even in a light, well, environment like this, consider the fact that gray screen can't survive in here. And that's another thing that's going to court too. All you gray screens out there, especially ones with ambient light rejection, oh, they're dragged into a courtroom. You know why? Because you lied. That gray screen can't read a contrast level. You lost your freaking mind. Where did you even get that idea to begin with? Who even started that dumb nonsense? You can't see a black level. If you mention the word black or contrast anywhere on your site, you can be sued for it now. It's false advertisement. So where are you seeing black at? And on top of that, you say contrast. It comes down to what type of contrast are you actually reading? You should be able to read that. No problem. We're in partial lighting, we can still see that, no problem. Ooh, what's this one? I don't want to do 18. That's 20? Really? It's a whole freaking movie. It's almost a movie. We're just watching 20 minutes of freaking commercials. No contrast. The white screen don't pick up anything. That's the sad thing about it. Is I watched somebody sell Someone a really high-end expensive. Oh, Epson LS400. You showed me that, and that screen did. Oh, I felt sorry for it. It really did, because that's the image. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's the image that one of my customers did outside. Outside, it's the video right here. But anyway, he showed her this Epson LS800, and he told her it was going to work. And the screen he showed her was white. There's no way in the world it's going to pick up. I could literally make money off Best Buy. I can make money off you guys. I could basically sit outside with my technology, half and half painted on a white screen, and I could show you at the end of the day that I could basically beat that. Any screen they put, any white screen, any projector they have in there will not work on any white screen in there. Now the projectors will work if they're using our technology, but they won't work if you're using a white screen. Which means I can come out there and I can make money right at their store easily. Now gray screen, no. You're going to still have to be in the dark. Your stuff don't work. Your stuff doesn't pick up. You've seen in the demonstrations we did it, it doesn't pick up. We've ran gray screens on every level you can possibly think of. I've had gray certified, which I do have here, gray certified. It doesn't read. It won't pick up at black level. The reason why they make it darker so it reads the contrast better, but it doesn't pick it up. Now, if a gunmetal ain't picking up that color screen, what chance do you have of a gray screen picking up? You can't see it. Even in partial lighting, you can't pick up. If I darken this entire environment, I pull out a cell phone, I can take the screen out. You should never be there. You can't absorb light. So that means you don't work in dedicated theater rooms either. You're abstract art. So, this right here, the technology you're seeing, is called the ILEG. This is our Ultimate Apex Gamer Complete. It is the most incredible screen paint we ever developed. We're going to have a new challenge on our site. Now, this challenge is anybody feels that their projection screen can compete, bring it. Mind you, they're not done on YouTube. These are done in courts. I don't have time for the whole YouTube back and forth and all that nonsense. The problem is when you get people and you try to give them fair challenges on YouTube, they got to do dumb stuff, break laws and all that stuff and get in trouble. We ain't got time. We can straight you right to court, then get in front of a judge, whatever. We'll do it right from there. Now we'll take it seriously. Now, if you've done enough of these video demonstrations where you basically falsified and lied, we'll take you to court. And you have no choice after that. It has to be done. This mess has to be cleaned up. You gravy train riders who've been basically selling these fake and phony products, and you've been sticking screens in dark environment and trying to convince customers to calibrate, spend more money for projections to fix your problem, your gravy train's about to be derailed. And if you feel the need that you think my demonstrations are not real, well, we have contracts for that. Feel free to sign the contract. We'll see you in court. We'll come here over to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and we'll go to court over it. And I guarantee you, if there's a nose is on my face, you'll lose that court, whatever court hearing we call it. You'll lose it. I guarantee you, you'll lose it. I don't care who you are, any company in the world, I guarantee you. Now, see how I can make that statement and have that much confidence in my product? Don't you wish screen paints today and projection screens could have that same confidence too? You don't know your own product. I know your product better than you know your own product because you don't test. Testing is very, very important. You don't test. All the testing I do on my stuff, I go to your sites, I go to your websites, I go research your company, I dig up and look for these tests. I can't find them. Smarter Surface, had a nice conversation with them. It's all documented. I had a conversation with them. I asked them, does your screens generate outside in sunlight? I was told yes. Can your white screen see 100% black levels? I was told yes. It's right there. I got it documented. Everything I got to document. Just in case they said it say what I said, I document the whole freaking conversation. Sorry about that conversation. Now, they stated that I get your screen down here and I do that demonstration. It doesn't work and go to court on it. And for some people say at the end of the day, well, he's just a bully. No, not a bully. I'm tired of you guys riding the gravy train. I'm tired of these fake demonstrations. You get on this train, you lie to customers, and now they're out there sitting out there watching your train go around in circles while you count their money, and they got this poor crappy screen at the end of the day. So this is how it works. Either you straighten up your whatever nonsense that goes on your website or wherever you got, I don't care, and stop lying to customers, or my company will take you to court. Or bottom line is, if you feel at the end of the day that Mr. Bird's a fake or phony, sign my contract. I'll be glad to walk you into a courtroom any day of the week, and I guarantee you, bar none, I'll win that court. That court date, anything, that court judgment, I'll bet you I'll win it. Any day. Please, please entertain me on that one. I beg you. Challenge me and see what happens. And I guarantee I'll shut your company down. You got to start making products right for the customer. The customer deserves to have better products. There's no way in the world a person's screen should ever look like that. That's the most horrifying tool I've seen worse. There's just no way in the world. That poor customer who opened up that, there's no way in the world he should have went. And the projector he was using was way more powerful than mine. How in the world did the screen wash out that poor product? The guy on the roof trying to watch Batman? The cinema bars were gray. You know cinema bars are black, right? So as long as we collect your money and no returns, no nothing, no testing, nothing whatsoever, just shut the door in your face. Whatever happens is your problem at the end of the day. You're stuck running around on all these forum sites, and I hear them in the forum sites, this won't work, and that won't work, you can't get this work, and that's in the screen color, and they're in there. But a projector they invested all this money into. You left them out in the cold. That's what you did. And I talked to a lot of your customers. Customers come and contact us, and they talk about the crappy products they bought from you guys. So we're going to fix it once and for all. And if it takes me 2, 3 years, 10 years, whatever, bring a team of lawyers on, whatever make a difference, this mess needs to be cleaned up. People need to get what they paid for. Now, like I said, for those of you saying, well, what about you, Mr. Bird? I'm the one with all the testing. I can challenge you on anything I want. What about me? You signed the contract. I see in court. That's about me. You don't want to sign the contract, and we find out that you've been doing a lot of these demonstrations, you've been misleading consumers, I'm taking you to court. I have so much respect for Epson. I do. So much respect for them. They saw nonsense popping up and they squashed it. See, that's the difference between people who stand up and do things that are right and people just lay down and just let things go. And it's funny, you think about Spider-Man, right? You know about that nonsense that went on YouTube. But anyway, what happened to Peter Parker when he let a thief run past him? It's not my problem. I'm killing a family member, right? Horrible price he had to pay. It may dodge you, but it may hit somebody else. That's the difference between people at the end of the day who stand up and believe in things and they fight for it, than other people who basically lay down and just let it happen. So I'm one of those people who believe in standing up. And that means if I have to take every company to court to make sure that those specification sheets are done correctly so consumers don't get ripped off, so be it. And you can spread your smear campaigns and whatever you want. Doesn't make a difference to me. If I catch you doing it, I'll see you in court. I'll take your stuff from you. I'm not the person to play with. They're mad at me because I won't fall in line with them. They're mad at me because I won't get on that gravy train with you. No. I'm the guy on the other end with all the dynamite about to blow up those tracks. That's me. That's what you're mad about. Well, we can't play nice like the rest of us. You know, we can all get rich off them and make money off of them. No, I ain't that person. Wrong person. I'm the person under the bridge with the dynamite and the detonator, watching your train come over and boom, I'm going to derail you. And then when I get done, I'm going to pull up all your tracks and make sure you don't even exist anymore. It's a nice town there. You don't even exist. There's a railroad? Yeah, someone said there's a railroad. I don't know. I haven't heard it. I think it's just a myth. It turned into a myth. So you have to be able to tell the truth on your products. Just like gunmetal technology. The biggest fear for gunmetal is the reaction of black diamond. And I'll tell you why. Diamond has a black screen. Now diamond made a black screen, but I'm interested that when they explain the screen, they say the screen reads 100% black. So what does that say about the gray screen that they developed when they said that read 100% black? But it doesn't. Now they can sit there and say, well, hey, at that particular time we developed, which is true, when he developed the screen, there were no black screens. There was none at all, period. And technically any darker screen was considered to be black. So definitely, yeah, he's a leg to stand on there. That's definitely true. But down through time, watching our company develop black technology, we realized that doing the test that you've seen us do on that screen, that your screen wasn't reading black. It was actually reading gray. Just like the Parallax. It doesn't read black, it reads gray. So that means that any screen that's out there right now that's gunmetal is claiming to read black, you can be brought into court for that. Because you technically don't read black. You read gray next to a black screen. Now, if you say, hey, we're out right around that time, you'll check that timestamp date. But keep in mind, now knowing what you know, you could have went and recorrected that, but you didn't. So what happens when you do actually make a black screen? How would you explain the black levels on the black screen that's actually black compared to the gunmetal that you said was black? How do you fix that one? Let's get you in trouble. That's why you haven't seen anything with a black screen yet. Ah, you know, it's interesting. I sit here, Mr. Bird knows more than you think he knows, right? Yeah, I know a lot. I know a whole lot. And I know at the end of the day from watching you guys talk, now, the what you would call them, the influencers can only speak on the education of what they know on the screens that they're doing demonstrations on. That's true. So they read up everything on the screen, and that's what they advertise. That's what they do. But they need to do more research, because there is a company out there that does make black technology. And if you're saying that that screen reads black, you're lying, because it doesn't read black. We do. Not fair. Some don't even know who we are. That's understandable. But when you do, that means you can't only say that anymore. Because we're challenging any screen that says that, because we want to be the known where that basically we're going to pay the way for black technology. Long after they're gone, there's going to be more black screens besides me. At least at the end of the day, we put that mark in the sand that says that only screens at a 100% black level have the right to say it. Not those that deal with gray screens, silver screens, and gunmetal screens. You have no right to say that or make that statement. You don't read black. All right then. I like it. Also, took the other cleanup message, people lying in specification shit. That's awful. Well, thank you to my customers. Thank you for supporting our sale. We had our sale, actually, not sale, products launched yesterday. Thank you to those of you who took advantage of that amazing product. I got to get out of here. I got to finish my screen here, and I got to go for a nice long walk. I got to kill some calories real quick. Got time to come in here and work on my screen. Wow. This cool stuff we have on there. Why can we never find this cool stuff we're doing other stuff? Yeah, 30 minutes. I ain't doing 30 minutes. Another 30 minutes. No, that's a whole movie right there. That's a whole movie right there. Why am I going to the movie theater and watch that? Don't watch the whole thing right there. 30. YouTube lost their mind the other day. I told you, this is going to get worse. They're going to continue to add more and more and more and more. 40. That was 40. You know why? Because of YouTube Plus. That's why. They can get you to pay for it. That's what Hulu did. You got to know marketing and strategy. It's actually a pretty good one, too, at that. But anyway, that's what Hulu. And do you remember Hulu when it first came out? It was free. I think it was Adam Baldwin. I think that's the guy who was actually doing 30 Rock. The guys on 30 Rock. He was doing the commercials for them. He kind of posed like he was an alien from another planet. And he was offering Hulu. It's crazy. You got to look up the commercials. It's pretty funny. But Hulu was free at one point. It was all free. It advertised. It was free entertainment. You didn't have to pay money for cable companies and subscription fees and all that stuff. And then later on, they started charging people. But to get people to pay for a service that's free, they bombard the channel with commercials. A lot of Subway commercials. And they were back to back to back to back to back. Sometimes you'd watch the same commercial like 5 times over and over again. And that's enough to drive somebody crazy. Good marketing scheme. So basically, for me, I paid for it. Because I didn't want to see the Subway commercials anymore. It drove me crazy. And when I would contact them, I would say, yeah, freaking Subway commercials, man. I can't take it anymore. All y'all show is Subway commercials. If you had something else there, I could deal with it. And that was feedback for them to go, hey, keep it going. The Subway commercials are making them go crazy. They're going to pay for subscription costs. There you go. YouTube's doing the same thing. YouTube's got these commercials that come on here. Now, first it started off with a small commercial in between. That's really nothing. Get around that. And then it started off with 2 of them, and 3 of them back to back. And then from 3 back to back, it went to straight 30 minutes and 40 minutes of commercials. And you skip over that and get a commercial. And skip over that and get a commercial. And then you would have somebody show a video, and they would show a video, and in the middle of the video, they show commercials. Now, I understand people get paid off these, and they have to support your channel, and all at the end of the day, I don't mind watching your commercials, but you're talking about freaking 30 minutes and 40 minutes. I am not watching 30 to 40 minutes of commercial. I'm just not doing it. Unless I got it playing in the background, I don't care. It's just going to run either way. I'm not going to really watch something and get up. I got to do something. Needs that commercial. I can do something while the commercial's on. But other than that, if I'm working, I'm not watching that. I'm not doing that. No, we're not doing that. But yeah, it's just too much. Well, okay, so bottom line is, if the creator gets paid off the commercials, right? What happens when people pay for the subscription cost was commercial free? Then what? Anybody think about that? All right, I gotta go. I gotta go take this walk. I gotta come in. I gotta finish building this thing. I want this thing done by the day. I've run out of glue sticks. So I'm gonna get this done, get it finished. Got things I gotta do. I want to show off the chaser lights which are coming in because I'm gonna have to wrap it on my screen. My screen's gonna be crazy looking. As you can see, the build on it's crazy. That's a shelf system at the bottom. It's gonna be crazy looking. What we have for time? Okay, we're not even time yet. We're almost there. Almost there. All right. So today, this thing will be done. Yeah, we should be done. We should have it all blacked out the bottom, blacked at the top, the whole screen put in. Yeah, we should be done. Let's order the LED lights and stuff. They're coming in and put that in. Actually, both of them should be all done. Get them all put today, hopefully. I've got 2 screens to build. Mind you've got invisible technologies going over there. See-through panel. I got to figure out to put some kind of whirl behind the back of it, which I got to get around to building that. I have no idea what I'm putting back there. What about a gear clock system? Oh, steampunk gear clock system would be pretty cool. I'm going to start working on my PC too. Alright, people. Let's face about it. I thought I'd update you with that. We're bringing some videos here, but I have to support my other channel. Like I said, I got a whole, I went to GoDaddy, and I got myself a VPI server and all that stuff set up. My buddy's doing all the work over there right now, so we can bring in our members only. Members only! Already got it set with members only already. Which I got to update that too. I got some videos and pictures over there too, on top of that. Got to get that done today on top of that. I think I'm going to chill out in the park and do those. Oh, good. Oh, office taco. Let's go in the park, get something to eat, and do some editing. Got to freaking send some stuff over to another page and update the pages over there. Edit some of the designs I want to put over there. I might put a little mini arcade in there too. A mini arcade. So yeah, it's a report. Gaming paint's the way to go. It's not the theater paint. The theater paint, theater screens, no. The gamers are far more better. We developed a couple of these, but they just some took off, but the theater paint took off higher. That's why we don't develop them that much. But they're far better. Their colors are much more advanced. The black levels are better. The white levels pick up better. It's just an all-around better form of screen paint or projection screen. They're far more advanced. We make them differently. So yeah, we're sticking to this path. I like this path. And this path is going to involve the gamer as in gaming technology for gaming community, because gaming community is huge. And on top of that, for you look at gaming systems, it isn't like Nintendo. You don't have just where you're not on apps attached to it. And your console system, I sit here and watch Netflix and Hulu and YouTube on my PS4. So they're used for more than just gaming. People watch movies off of them. A lot of people bought the PS3 because they had Blu-ray players on them. They watch movies on it more than they gamed on for it. So that's what it's coming down to. These things are the whole time entertainment boxes from the door, So, you're going to have a gamer paint that's going to have to react to movies and sports and all that. That's what we have here. This is the perfect screen paint. It does everything. And if anyone feels at the end of the day, please entertain Mr. Bud by walking me into a courtroom and says my product doesn't work. I guarantee a few things. You will be crushed. Crushing. You'll be crushed. You'll be embarrassed because you should have no business walking in. No. Is that testing? I'm going to test it. Am I doing anything? No. And you will go on court records because it's definitely going to be a public domain. Everything that we go into a courtroom will be on public records for everybody to read. Actually, we're building a website to post everything there too so that people can read it. So don't cry in court because it'll be on there. They put everything on record in there. Everything. You cry, sneeze, cough, choke, whatever, it's on record. Right in there. So don't do that. And then we'll use our court hearing, kicking your butt in the courtroom, as advertisement for my company. As in, we back our products up so well, we challenge everyone to take us to court. Yeah, that'd be fantastic advertising. We back our products up that well, and we challenge you to go to court. Anybody else willing to make that challenge on their company about taking the court? Oh, you know what will happen if you do that, right? If you make that statement, don't play around with that. And then you think I play around with that, you think, oh, I'll just make, no, we'll drag you in court. We'll just say we'll take you to court. Like, no joke, all jokes aside. You think because some people think at the end of the day, they want to be like me at the end of the day. I mean, just make that statement. Don't do that. I will take you to court on that. Just, I will bring a process server to your front door. I'm not joking around with you. Don't challenge me on stuff like that. You know what happens? People challenge. Jamie did that whole challenge. He ran his mouth on camera and said we weren't going to bring a process server to his front door. We brought one to your door, didn't we? We don't play around with that kind of stuff. You make a statement that your product does something, you're willing to back it up in court. Oh, we coming to see you. Now, if you sit there and say that my product can't be used in a fully lit environment, requires calibrating, so that's no, that's a definite yes. Yes, you product should require that because it's a great paint. You can't read like our screens can read. That's definitely, and you're telling the truth on that one. But if you're saying that, well, you know, my product basically reads 100% contrast levels, and I want to back it up in court, you're a dead man walking. Just put it that way. We're going to be there. You make that statement, and I pick up on that thing at the end, and I find it gets back to me. You got a recording, you actually making that statement in a YouTube channel. Oh, heck yeah. I'm going to send you an email. I take your challenge. And if you sit there, oh no, you know, you play around with it. No. I'll get one of those cyber investigators, and we'll figure out exactly where your company's at, and business is at, wherever you're at, where you lay your head, and I'll have a process server come to your front door with service for court. You understand how that works at the end of the day? We like this kind of stuff. I like challenge. That's what I like. So you're giving me an open invitation. You get us a schoolgirl with a new dress. You know how that works, right? And that's a whole lot of getting. Challenge me, so it happens. It'd be like saying Beetlejuice 3 times. We will pop up. And the difference is there won't be a lot of shenanigans. You literally will lose your shirt in that courtroom. And I have it on recording of you actually saying it. Oh, no, we have it here, right on recording. You're on the YouTube channel. You made the statement. You challenged us. Yeah, we'll see you in court. You can't back yourself up right now. None of y'all can back yourself up correctly. And again, for those of you in the field who want to get mad with Mr. Bird and get upset with me and all that other dumb nonsense, you don't see the big picture there. The big picture there is your customers are getting ripped off by your products because your products don't work. That's what it comes down to. And instead of us going into this whole back and forth, we're not doing that. We take it straight to court. We let a judge decide. No, I'm trying to come out of there. I need to go over here. I gotta go build something. Until then, the ILEG Ultimate Apex Gamer Complete is the most powerful screen paint on YouTube. Anybody willing to challenge this thing, you let me know. I'll see you in court. No, we're not doing that whole, we're gonna, no King's Challenge, that crap at the night. Ain't time for that. No, I'm a busy man. I'll see you in court. Got $1 million laying around? That's what it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you that much. It's gonna cost you a lot. And make it worth my time. I told somebody that, what was that, on PayPal, you sue people for that kind of money for basically for challenge. Ooh, who the frick is crazy enough to walk in the courtroom with that? I was like, yeah, I'm waiting. So I'll find out who's crazy enough to do it. And for the YouTubers that and said, well, you made that challenge, you don't even have that kind of money. No, that's what makes it more interesting. The fact that we have that much faith in our product that we can literally make that statement not having that type of money. That shows you at the end of the day on how much danger you just walked into. You walked literally into a lion's den with a suit made out of steak. That's what you're up against. Have you seen the demonstrations of crazy stuff that we do to our products? I mean, you just watch me walk through Allentown with a freaking little battery pack and a tiny little projector and produce images outside anywhere I wanted to go. You really want to walk in a courtroom with somebody like me? Of course I can make that statement. I can back my products up, and that's what customers love about us. That's what the investors love about us, because we can make those statements that you can't. By golly, I'm full of giddy right now. Full of giddy. I gotta go. I got things to do. Y'all have a good one.